If you've clicked on this video, it's probably because you're curious to learn about what Arknights is. Well, in this video, I'll answer that question in the simplest way possible. So, without further ado, let's get started. Arknights is a tower defense gacha game, initially released for mobile devices, but it can be played on PC in different ways. However, at the time of making this video, the official PC version has been announced, but not yet released. As in any other tower defense game, you will use operators who will take on the role of turrets to stop the advance of enemies across a series of maps. Operators can be divided into three types: melee, ranged, and mixed, which will impact where they can be placed on the map. Arknights was released about 6 years ago, so you'll find a lot of content in the form of events and main storylines, each with its own mechanics, which can range from a fog of war like Fire Emblem, airstrikes every so often, snowstorms that can freeze our operators, and much more. And the enemies are not far behind. We will have a wide variety of enemies and bosses with different mechanics to take into account when facing them, so it is always advisable to review their descriptions and pay attention to the tutorials offered by the game itself. As for our operators, we will have a wide variety, which are divided into different classes with different abilities, allowing for a huge variety of strategies to pass the levels, so you will always be curious to try new combinations. As for gacha, Arknights is not a game with very aggressive monetization. Although the best operators are released in banners, the vast majority end up in the permanent banner, and there are also many options for free spins, making it very friendly for free-to-play players. However, the game also offers many operators of all rarities for free, which are quite good. These can be obtained either by completing events, or by purchasing them directly in the store with materials that the game itself gives you. In terms of endgame content, Arknights has many game modes, including integrated strategy, a very fun roguelike mode that plays by its own rules and gives you a ridiculous amount of rewards just for playing it. Then there's Reclamation Algorithm, a mode where you have to manage a base on a large map, which will feature different events and unusual situations. This mode can be a little complicated to understand at first, but if you like this type of game, you will enjoy it a lot. Contingency Contract, one of the most difficult modes, as in this one we can modify the difficulty of the maps, making them ridiculously difficult. Greater difficulty means greater rewards, and there are many modes, such as auto chess and even a boss rush, and that's not even counting the events for April 1st. As for the music, I'm not exaggerating when I say that the Arknights soundtrack can easily compete with that of other video game super productions. It's so good that many people have started playing just to listen to the music, and no, I'm not exaggerating. And finally, the last point to touch on in this video is the story. Don't get me wrong, I'm not touching on the story last because I think it's bad. On the contrary, I think it's very good. However, considering that this video is intended for potential new players, I think it's best to focus on the gameplay, since Arknights is ultimately a video game, and as I said at the beginning, this game is 6 years old, which means that its story is very extensive, and can end up being overwhelming if you try to explain it in depth from the beginning. If you're interested in the story, keep in mind that you're going to be reading a lot. However, there are many content creators who make very good summaries on YouTube, and this game also has an anime adaptation with 3 seasons, covering from the beginning of the game to chapter 8 of the main story. I would highlight the 2nd season for introducing the best operator in the game, Frostleaf. In my personal opinion, I consider Arknights to be the best tower defense game currently available. I know this may sound ridiculous to many, but I believe it has maximized the tower defense formula in ways I never would have expected. If you're a fan of this genre like me, I recommend playing it more with the mindset of a tower defense game, and not so much as a gacha game, since this is a game where you can ignore the gacha factor without much trouble. Well, this is my little introduction to Arknights. I wanted this to be a simple, not too deep video to introduce the game to someone who just wants to know about it without having to learn 1,000 terms or concepts. To explain things like how certain operators work, I already have a separate series of guides, and I plan to upload a video with tips for new players in the future, in case you're interested. I hope this video has helped you decide to give this game a try. I also have a Discord server where you can join and share your experience or ask for help throughout your adventure. The link is in the description. Without further ado, I bid you farewell. Take care and see you next time.